Welcome to our virtual public hearing. This is our opportunity to show proposed service changes for fall of 21 and solicit feedback before we commit to these changes. We will take feedback and respond for 2 weeks at our public hearing page at mtd.org until May 15th. I'm Jay Rank, Operations Director. Dave Goldenbaum, our service planner, and I will go through these proposed changes that we will look for to give some background and give feedback on. We typically make changes to our service once a year. The plan is to make continual improvements and change our routes, schedules, and or on-demand services each year. These are tied to coordinate with the new academic year beginning in August. The changes can then be found in our newly printed schedule books, shelter boards, and online at mtd.org in mid-August. The service year begins August 15th. Again, this is a public hearing to introduce those changes. The past year has seen unprecedented changes for all of us. The same holds true here at MTD. We are pleased that we've been able to safely continue providing essential transportation services in the community. We've operated fare-free with little variation to our posted community routes and schedules since March. Due to COVID-19, we reduced some evening and late night service to the campus routes and made some minor adjustments to community routes with trips that serve Unit 4 and District 116 schools. Like everyone, we're encouraged to see things beginning to normalize, but are still unsure exactly when the service will return to pre-pandemic levels. Due to these unknowns, we are planning minor service changes for the fall, with the exception of the addition of a new route, the 24 link. This was slated to launch in fall of 2020, but was put on hold when the pandemic began. Future fall planning will be more robust. Again, I'm Jay Rank, Operations Director. I'll be talking about the campus route changes, and later Dave Goldenbaum, our service planner, will be talking about community route changes. In coordination with the U of I, the student representatives, Research Park, and the College of Engineering, we have developed a new route to help improve connections on campus. The 24 link is a route designed to connect the Research Park and the Engineering Quad. But it does so much more. It is a weekday daytime service that will operate 3 buses every 15 minutes year-round. It takes over the Research Park section of the 1 Yellow Hopper route, then serves Lot E14, which is a commuter parking lot. Then it continues to 4th Street to serve the new Siebel Center for Design, then up to Wright Street to the main quad and the engineering quad before it heads up to University Avenue. Then it continues to Lincoln Avenue, where it turns right and heads south until Green Street. There it turns west back towards campus and serves ISR, the Atlanta Union, and many more buildings before it turns south on Wright Street and reverses back southbound. A few other benefits of this route is that it extends to the new development called Gather on Lincoln and University, as well as a few other new apartment buildings on University, but then some existing buildings on Lincoln Avenue between University and Green Street. This route adds another option for Green Street between Lincoln Avenue and Wright Street. This includes proximity to ISR, which has a brand new dining facility, which may be a destination for students. A few really interesting changes to the campus route structure are possible because of the 24 link. First, the 1 Yellow Hopper service south of Lot E14 is no longer necessary, and the Research Park extension will be eliminated from the 1 Yellow Hopper. This will have a positive impact on schedule adherence because the route will have more recovery time between trips and should allow for buses to begin trips on time more often. This also removes some confusion about the Yellow Hopper routing, or which trip ends at Lot E14 or which trip continues to Research Park. This simplifies the service, which is generally a goal. The other change is when the 1 Yellow Hopper route operates. Right now it operates all weekdays regardless of the U of I schedule. This is primarily because there are employees who park in Lot E14 year-round. Since the 24 link is covering Lot E14 each weekday, we can change the 1 Yellow Hopper to operate on U of I days only. The hours saved can then be applied to an extension of the 22/220 Atlanta Limited. Right now, the route operates every 30 minutes and only goes as far south as Armory and Wright. This has been a frequent complaint over the years that it doesn't go far enough into campus. By applying the hours from the 1 Yellow Hopper change, it is possible to add a bus to the 22/220 Atlanta Limited route to improve the frequency to 20 minutes and to extend the route to circle the Eikenberry Commons block and serve ARC better. This provides more trip making possible for non-U of I days, but also for weekend days where the 22/220 Line Unlimited route operates year round. We believe this will be a very popular change. Again, these changes were proposed and set to be approved last year, but were delayed due to the unknown financial implications of the pandemic. So we're excited to see how well these work out. So here's an illustration of the routes. You can see that the 24 link takes over the Research Park portion of the current one yellow hopper on the map on the right compared to the existing service on the left. And the 22/220 Line Unlimited is extended to serve ARC and Eikenberry Commons. For the yellow route, we're going back to a routing that we used in the past. For this service year, we changed the southbound routing of the 1/100 yellow last year as a result of the MCOR project to go right to Chalmers to 6th to Armory to 4th to Gregory, as shown in the dashed line. In the past year of operating this routing, we found that it introduced a few new turns that were more difficult than expected and higher pedestrian and vehicular traffic than before. We've reconsidered and feel good about reverting back to the previous routing. It will operate right to Chalmers to 6th to Gregory coming out of campus, as shown in the solid yellow line. Again, this is for southbound only. Northbound remains unchanged, using Gregory to 4th to Armory to right. Next, our service planner, Dave Goldenbaum, will discuss the changes, including the 180 Lime evening route, the 110 Ruby Sunday and Saturday routes, a few time point changes, and a stop change on the 2 red.
Thanks, Jay. As mentioned, I'm going to share proposed changes to schedules, time points, and stops. The most prominent changes this fall will be to the weekday evening Lime schedule and weekend Ruby schedule. We'll begin with the proposed schedule changes to the Lime. Currently, the 180A and B weekday evening Limes are both scheduled to depart Round Barn Road simultaneously. In an effort to maximize transfers to the 50 East and from the 50 West greens, we're proposing a more staggered approach to servicing Round Barn Road connections. Staggering the Lime will result in 20 to 30 minute service instead of its present 40-minute service. Additionally, the new Lime schedules will line up with 6 additional 50 East and 50 West greens at Round Barn Road. By increasing the Lime frequency and transfer times, we hope to reduce waits at the Round Barn Road stop. Towards the end of the weekday evening Lime service, Plastipac and DSC are serviced on both the Lime A and B. This service will remain intact. On the Lime A route, we will add a new stop at Duncan and Clark at 10:40 p.m. for Caterpillar employees. Their shift changes at 10:30 p.m. The Lime A will depart Duncan and Clark 2 to 3 minutes later than currently scheduled to accommodate these riders. The Lime B will also depart Round Barn Road for Plastipac 2 minutes later at 10:50 p.m. This will allow for transfers from the 10:49 50 West Green, while still arriving at Plastipac in time for the 11 o'clock shift change. Now let's talk about the proposed changes to the weekend Ruby schedule. The Sunday Ruby southbound is currently due to Lincoln Square at 23 minutes after the hour, which is at the same time as the 50 West Green departs. As a result, this connection cannot always be made. By removing the 2-minute layover at Airport Road in Cunningham, the new Ruby South schedule on Sunday will arrive 20 minutes after the hour and make the 50 West Green connection. The Ruby colored time points on the graphic represent proposed changes. Time points are now 3 minutes earlier except for the Airport and Cunningham time point, which is 2 minutes earlier. The last 2 Ruby South trips will remain unchanged. The Saturday Ruby southbound schedule remains unchanged until 2:01 p.m. when we propose that it departs 1 minute earlier, beginning at the Brownfield and Columbia time point, shown again by the Ruby color. This change will help support the 70 East Gray connection at Lincoln Square at 22 minutes after the hour and will be consistent with the new Sunday Ruby South schedule, arriving at Lincoln Square at 20 minutes after the hour, beginning at 2:20 in the afternoon. Now I'm going to switch gears a little to discuss time point changes. These changes will help ensure better schedule adherence for our riders and are all relatively minor. Following a layover at Parkland on non-Unit 4 school days, the 7 East Gray is scheduled to depart Parkland at 7:13 a.m. and arrive to the Illinois Terminal at 7:35 a.m. for the 7:40 Universal Transfer. Throughout the day, this trip is scheduled to take 20 minutes. In this one instance, 22 minutes has been allotted. As a result, operators departing Parkland on time usually experience unplanned layovers. By departing 2 minutes later from Parkland at 7:15 a.m., the 7 East Gray should not have any unplanned layovers and continue to arrive on time for the 7:40 Universal Transfer. The 7 West Gray currently departs Urbana-Walmart at 7:29 a.m. and is due at the 7:40 Universal Transfer at Lincoln Square at 7:38. To improve schedule adherence to the 7:40 Universal Transfer, this trip will depart 1 minute earlier from Urbana-Walmart at 7:28 a.m. The 8:30 a.m. 1 South Yellow from Champaign Walmart to IT often runs behind schedule because not enough time has been allowed to travel from Marketplace Mall to the Illinois Terminal. By moving the departure from Walmart from 8:30 a.m. to 8:28, and then moving the departure from Marketplace from 8:40 to 8:35 a.m. with no layover at the mall, this 1 South Yellow trip should arrive at IT on schedule at 8:50 in the morning. The final change I'd like to discuss today is moving the current 2U red stop from the northwest corner of Tolson and Interstate to the south side of Interstate after the 2U turns from Tolson. Champaign County Housing Authority's new facility at The Haven on Interstate Drive does have access to MTD at Champaign Walmart, but its most direct bus stop is at Tolson and Interstate for the 2U red. By moving this stop across the street, this will prevent Haven riders from having to cross Interstate Drive when boarding the 2U red, which services this stop 9 times daily between 7:21 in the morning and 6:35 p.m. This concludes our presentation today. If you have questions or comments, you may submit them on the public hearing page until May 15th. We look forward to hearing from you. On behalf of everyone here at MTD, thank you for your participation.